Welcome to the ISB podcast. I'm your host, Sahil, here with Roycito, ready for day 3 of COPA America. And the lights have gone out. I won't tell you where I am, but the power is out. But the show must go on, Roycito, just like COPA America.
Just like I'm guessing you're in Argentina, where there seems to be a power outage every hour and a half, especially during major tournaments. But you still look nice, man. You're always looking nice.
Yeah.
The beard is still well lined, and that's what matters.
That's what's going on. Okay, so let's talk about people who have had better days like myself, but there was a team called Ecuador who's definitely had some better days than Enner Valencia, who decided he was in the Kung Fu movie instead of playing football today. It's so funny, bro. We were talking yesterday about we had a Peru-Chile clash, and then the game that we got between Ecuador and Venezuela was a little bit of Kung Fu action by Enner Valencia.
Yeah, that was extremely unfortunate for Ecuador. What a tremendously poor decision. What a terrible play by Enner Valencia. It kind of doomed his team. Now, I think the team that is most pissed off right now is Mexico, because this made the group a million times harder for them to get through. But Ecuador, man, I thought they were going to sneak out with a win or a tie after they got that goal when they were a man down, but it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. Tremendous joy and emotion for Venezuela after this game. Incredible.
Yeah, what's interesting, even after going down a man, Ecuador got that goal, right? And you're thinking like, wow, Venezuela in the first half after going up a man did not play well. But you know what changes is the two subs. And you got to credit, I think, the Venezuela manager for that, because they both came in, they both scored.
Yep. Incredible substitution. And that's the difference that a great manager makes. I'm not saying he's a great manager, but he's a good manager. And that won the game for Venezuela. Venezuela, when they went up a man, they looked worse than they did at the beginning of the game when it was 11v11. Yeah. They looked worse. Ecuador started dominating. Ecuador scored a goal, and they looked like they were on track to win the game, which is crazy. But genius intervention by the manager, made critical substitutions that completely changed the game. Ecuador was still in it, but they couldn't last the 90 minutes, man. You can't last 90 minutes down in those conditions. No.
That's the way sometimes these matches go, right? You're thinking like one team is easily going to take the match. And then after that, something like this happens and you're thinking, okay, Venezuela might end up losing this match. And then, the two substitutions, especially like, what I liked about this team in Venezuela, they showed a lot of fight. I think the substitutions that come on at that point in time, right? You think when the game started, you felt slipping away. That's when they got the goal. I think that's really important.
Yep. And I like the players that stepped up in the second half. I really like how Soteldo played. Soteldo's a player that just up until a few years ago was seen by many as, there's high praise this one, but the Venezuelan Messi. He's shifty. He's a little guy. Yeah. He plays those dangerous balls. He's quick. He's decisive. He's deceiving. And he showed a lot of what excited Venezuelans back in the day. He doesn't have that hype anymore. He's in his later 20s now. He had a failed stint with Toronto FC, but he showed why Venezuelans are so excited. I really liked how he played. I like how Rondon played. I like how the substitutes played as well. Overall, they really stepped it up in that second half.
Yeah, what about Rondon getting that big header in that led to the goal? I think that was, Solomon Rondon still
He's
trucking.
Such a good player. He's such a good player, man. That is a guy that any manager wants to have on their team. He's a brilliant striker, and he was decisive in the game. He's still going, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely, hats off to Venezuela. Congratulations on that victory. Okay. Mexico. This one, this was an interesting match, Roy. What do you say? What do you say about this? Because there were so many ups and downs. I feel like for both teams in this match, Jamaica gets the goal, disallowed. Then finally Mexico gets the goal, and it comes from a left back.
Yeah, I have a lot of comments both on the field and off the field about this game. I'll start with off the field. I thought this game, it looked like a sellout, but it was dead silent the entire game. The fans look lethargic. The fans look disinterested. They look bored and frustrated. And that is a direct reflection of how this Mexico team has been over the past year, over the past couple of years, even. So this Mexico team has been disappointing, has been disjointed. It's confusing what they're trying to do. Even the call ups have been confusing. The players they left off the roster are very controversial. It's you don't know exactly what they're trying to do. They didn't have long bouts of possession. They didn't really create that many chances. The game got quite exciting at the end, but this Mexico team lacks identity. It lacks star power. It lacks that forward who could just finish and be brilliant like a Raul Jimenez, like a Chicharito. They don't have that right now. And they left some important players at home. So those fans, the way they watched this game, the way it looked on TV, just hearing nothing in the stadium, it's a direct reflection of how this Mexico team is playing. And they're not playing well. They are not playing well. They got very lucky that Jamaica goal was offside.
Yeah, they got very lucky offside. But what do you think now? Because they were able to get the goal and obviously get the win. So, I mean, that's big, right? For Mexico to be able to do that,
It's huge. And I
despite playing
think,
poorly.
yeah, I think they make it through. And kudos to Mexico for scraping the win. You don't always have to win pretty. You just have to get it done. And they did. They did. The U.S., on the other hand,
Yeah.
doesn't always do that. We've tied and lost against Jamaica in important matches. And Mexico got it done. It was a brilliant, brilliant strike. Oh, absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous. But they need to step it up. I don't
Yeah.
know. They're lucky they're in an easier group. I don't know if Ecuador is going to give them too much of a challenge, but Ecuador is a big step up over Jamaica.
Yeah.
Venezuela is a step up over Jamaica. So let's see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, and in the next match, of course, when that they're going to play, they have Venezuela and then Ecuador. So we saw that match earlier today, and I don't know if I saw enough there to see anything that's going to trouble Mexico. I don't know if you did, but I
I
didn't
don't
really.
think so. They're teams that are slightly better built. They're teams that have a bit more of identity, and they're teams that are accustomed to better competition. I think that's going to prove to be a pretty massive difference in this tournament. I might be wrong. Maybe these CONCACAF teams will come out and go head to head with any South American team. But a team like Venezuela, a team like Ecuador, they're playing week in, week out for World Cup qualifying, for everything in between against Argentina, against Brazil, against Uruguay. Whereas Mexico, the toughest competition they get is USA. So it kind of tells you what they're accustomed to. So they got to be ready for that. They're going to play some tough teams that they need to win. Ecuador now needs to win to survive. Venezuela is one win away from a historic Copa America. So,
Yeah. I mean,
it's a
they
lot.
seem to do well in Copa America. They seem to get out of the group. So here they are again in another
Yeah.
position to do it. So,
Yeah.
all right. Hopefully the lights will be back on next time we come to you. But we are, no matter what, rain, shine, darkness, what have you, we got to bring you these Copa America videos, recaps. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. We'll be back tomorrow. Big day tomorrow, Roy. We'll have Rahi back. We'll have you back talking USA. So
Oh,
everyone out
man.
there,
That's going to be a big one,
it's
my
gonna be
friend.
wild.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
And
wild.
now we fade
Yeah.
to black as this video
Fade,
ends.
fade to black, literally. Vamos Copa America, as I say that through the
Vamos.
darkness.